Well, it seems like one of the main things we talk about nowadays is nothing more than, well, obituaries, people passing away. And we've had another one, another star has died on us. This one, a little more unique and a little more different. Not a big time star, but kind of statuesque in her own particular manner. Lonnie Anderson has passed away at the age of 79. Lonnie Anderson was, well, you probably remember her on one particular show, if you're old enough to remember the show, was WKRP in Cincinnati. 1979 or 1978 to 1982, 4-year run. A very unique show, but anybody who worked in the broadcasting industry, especially in radio, will definitely say, yeah, boy, that represented the station I worked for in one way, shape, or form, because all of those characters in that particular TV show, if you worked at a radio station, you probably had at least one of them. And I know I worked at a couple of radio stations starting back in 1965. And yes, those characters existed. Then I went over to another station, KROD, in 69, I think it was. And I was a sports broadcaster over there. But we had some of the same characters you saw on WKRP. One in particular was the Herb Tarlick, the sales guy. Yeah, we had that one. Program director, Gary Sandy did the program director. Well, had those too. As a matter of fact, program directors on radio can be, well, either good, bad, or indifferent. Fortunately, I've had some good ones and had some bad ones. And probably the greatest radio program director I think I've ever had, a guy named was John Zimney. He was in WOWO when I worked there. He was a true program director, one of the best I think I've ever been around. But anyway, getting back to Lonnie Anderson. Lonnie Anderson was born back in 1945. Her parents, her dad was an environmental chemist. Her mom was a model. That tells you why she kind of ended up the way she did. Interesting story. When she was born in 1945, her father was going to name her Leilani. And for some reason, he got to thinking about it. He says, when she gets to high school, it's going to be Leilani. He said, I don't think that's going to be a good plan. Now, he thought about this in 1945. I mean, not 1980, 1990, 1945. Leilani? Mm-hmm. He said, I ain't going to plan. So he named her Lonnie Anderson. And she got her big part in the TV show, the WKRP. And the producer said the reason they hired her was because she had the body of Jayne Mansfield. There you go. Had the body of Jayne Mansfield and the personality of Marilyn Monroe, innocent style. She played Jennifer Marlowe on that show, the receptionist. Worked for the GM, receptionist. And she was very unique, but like I said, she was smart. She didn't necessarily play smart, but she was pretty smart. Now, she got herself nominated for 3 Golden Globes and 2 Emmy Awards. So obviously her acting was pretty doggone good. But she was from St. Paul, Minnesota. And obviously you've seen a lot of, that particular genre from Norway and the Northern Territories and settled up in the northern Minnesota area. And that's where she came from. Now, she was married for 4 times. Probably the biggest one that everybody remembers. She was married to Burt Reynolds. That's right, she and Burt Reynolds. Now, she ended up having 2 kids, daughter Deidre and a son Quentin. And then when she was married to Burt Reynolds, well, when that relationship ended, pretty acrimonious, frankly, to tell you the truth, on marital affairs and who was doing what to whom, believe me. There was a fight over the kid. And ultimately, when Reynolds passed away, she's got Quentin, the son. And also, she was involved in an affair herself, apparently, with Gary Sandy, who played the program director at KRP. And from somewhere in the range of 1980, 79, 80, somewhere in there. Cost her another marriage, 4 marriages for her. But she has passed away 2 days shy of her 80th birthday, the age of 79. She'd been hospitalized for a long period of time, and she is gone now. So somebody unique who is stylish in her own way, but boy, did she remind you of characters from radio stations. If you ever worked at one, You know what I'm talking about, because everybody in that show, well, you said, hey, I remember that at the station I worked at. The newsman, I had a guy named Michael Etheridge. Trust me, one of those things. But everybody you saw in there, the general managers, boy, what I can tell you about some of those. And like I said, program directors. But overall, every station always had that one young lady, receptionist, the boss's secretary, call her what you will. In this case, WKRP in Cincinnati hit it right on the head. And it was Lonnie Anderson, the body of Jayne Mansfield and the personality of Marilyn Monroe. She's gone now, but her memory will always be in the minds and hearts of folks, especially if you worked in broadcasting.